don't do the I love you for it. Listen,
It's a good thing to do.
It's
the right thing to do.
100%. As I
You
said,
gotta win your games.
it's a great thought. Man, it can't backfire.
Yeah.
Can't backfire.
Yeah, so competitively, there's
Yes,
very little
exactly.
upside.
Right.
That's,
What
it's
it
good for
does
the
show,
kids.
is the gap is
Totally. Particularly when we're playing on their courts.
also great. Yeah, I think the kids, for the most part, I think you see some upsets.
Yeah.
And part of it is you're playing from nobody. That's tough.
It's just tough. We've had a rough start to the season though. Our confidence stuff has been rough.
And Oregon's got to win tonight.
Yes.
Like these two games are important right now. For the league, in terms of getting more than like 3. Otherwise, you're in kind of a spot where it's like, oh, like it's not like I'm going to win in November, December. It doesn't matter what you do. It's already like done. Look at ACC last year. We said how bad ACC was. And I know they did well in the tournament, but still, you got to win in November, December. I know. It's kind of unfair, but that's how it's judged.
For us, it was the flip side this year in football. Our top 7 teams,
Yep.
top 7 teams lost 2 out of conference games.
Exactly.
Yeah, so they're all ranked. So even when they beat each other up, it doesn't matter because they're all ranked.
Right. Just for resume wins that can obtain.
That's right.
Is everything good?
Yeah. This is so fun because back when I was here, we owned the Las Vegas Aces. Bill Lambier was running that. So Bill and Brooks and John and I did a tour of the East Coast. So we went to go see Krzyzewski, went to North Carolina, and then we stopped in Virginia, talked these guys into
Listen, just listen. I was talking to Brooks about it. I need some blocks.
Yeah.
To fit in as all 4 teams were good.
Oh, it's crazy.
You never get that.
Yeah. To have all 4 ranked in the top 20.
It's incredible. You got the crowd, the Illinois crowd.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
They travel well.
This next game, the crowd.
Yeah. This is no
It's embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
their argument is they had the big football game yesterday. So,
They don't do it. Last year, the crowd was good. The Villanova game.
was it Arizona guy? You know,
Right.
you come here for the tournament.
Yes.
It's an Arizona home game against
100%. I
any
was there
year.
last year. Yeah. It was great. Arizona. Although I keep trying to convince Tom. So I've been to Texas Tech a few times over the last few years. I told Tom that we should be there. Texas Tech. Just have like trucks out, big streets.
That's smart. Yeah. Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah. My favorite road trip last year was I went with Tommy and the Arizona guys to the Illinois game at Illinois. That was awesome.
Illinois crowds.
Yeah, I was there with the athletic director and the president and myself. The 3 of us were sitting behind the Arizona bench. And there was no other Arizona fans in the building. And they put the student section right behind the visiting bench. So they all figured out who I was. And it's just like years of just like hatred. Just fuck the Pac-12. And then they ended up winning by 3. So it's pretty good.
He's very happy.
I gotta get
See again.
I gotta get to Arizona at some point this year. I was gonna go. My daughter is a freshman. So they go back out here, obviously. She's in all finals.
They play. Who are they playing?
Arizona, Indiana.
Arizona, Indiana. It's across the street, right? It's at the. I think it's at the Great Garden Arena, MGM. The DQ, the Indiana Arizona game is at Great Garden, right?
Mic check. Just.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Mic check. Just.
No, it's great. Yeah, it's great. Look forward to it. Yep.
Coach Bennett, we'll start from the second row with Mike, and then we'll go Gene next.
Seemed like a very physical game. Midway through the first half, you guys kind of ratcheted up their physicality. What did you see on that end?
Yeah, I mean, this is a heck of a tournament. We were just talking, all four of these teams can play, and it's physical. I mean, with UCLA and Baylor, that's going to be a heck of a game. And then watching Illinois, they want to play so fast, but yet they're physical. It was hard. What we talked about in the second half, the theme was stand your ground from start to finish, and that means standing your ground in the areas that are important to us. And I thought it was just hard for us early offensively to get looks, and then some guys made some plays, but it was one of those who's going to yield. You always have to say who's going to outlast who. And yeah, certainly good bounces here and there, and guys have to make plays, but they have some young guards, and our experienced guards showed. But I think it was a hard-fought game, and I love seeing the effort. Win or lose, that was there was mistakes on both teams, but guys wanted it. Both teams, and you could feel it. You feel it in the atmosphere, in the crowd's atmosphere. You just had a good feeling. I was just grateful. And I keep telling guys, be free. Play as hard as you can. You're not perfect, but be free, because you got a perspective now that you probably didn't have a week ago.
Gene.
It's just momentary. It feels good in the moment, and then it's gone. Because, I'll never forget, as you said that, quote my father said, and I remember I've said it before you guys, but it feels great in the moment. And but because I think even more so now, we know what truly matters. Our families, our faith, appreciate the gift of each day. When you have a momentary celebration like this, it enables you to enjoy it. It seems to matter, but in the big picture, it doesn't. What matters are the things that have been brought front and center, that are real. And so you cling to those things, but when you step between the lines, when you play, when you practice, you get to your routine and you get after it. But your heart and mind is never far from our football team, those families, our staff, everybody around that. It's just, and I know tragedies are happening all over the world, and it's just, when it comes to it, it gives you that feeling. But it was a little more emotional for me, I think for those reasons. But if this just for those 2 hours that some people in Charlottesville and Milwaukee, that's good, and their mind was on it. That's good.
Okay, take one in front.
Tony, what did you guys do with frustrated Terrence Shannon?
Yeah, well, he was terrific against UCLA. I mean, he's a one-man fast break. He's so explosive in transition. Obviously, shooting, Armand shot so well, and then he wasn't, Armand shot today, his shot wasn't quite there as much. So when your shot's not going, we said make them earn, let's crowd them a little more. We weren't switching like some of the other teams, just trying to jam the lane. But Reese really took the challenge. Reese really played well, obviously all tournament, but down the stretch. And Reese is deceptively quick and athletic and hard to get clean looks. The other guys did their job helping for the most part. So it was just try to bother him, try not to get hurt on the glass, and we were bending but not breaking. And then in the last 4 minutes, just things went our way, but guys did execute.
John in the middle.
Coach, you attempted 44 more free throws than your opponents this weekend. Is that part of the game plan? Is that something we should expect to see out of your team the rest of the season?
I think, both of these teams we played switched every off-ball and on-ball screen, or 90-some%. So when that happens, you're gonna get some bigs on smalls on bigs, and we try to make a concerted effort to attack when we could or look inside. And they're both so good defensively, so physical, and again, the fact that we got to line, that's good because we haven't done that in the past. And yeah, you always, I remember coaching with Coach Ryan, you always talked about that was a big stat to him, attempted free throws or made free throws versus the other team. So that's good to see, and I hope that'll keep up. And again, our league is really good to play against so many different kinds of styles, but this challenged us, and I thought our guys would let everything prepared well and had the right mindset. And so, again, to get to your question, I hope we will be sort of get to the free throw.
Mike.
Tony, you guys, again, were great defensively in the second half, particularly down the stretch, hit a lot of free throws in the second half. Are those areas where the experienced veteran guys that shows up a little more?
Yeah, guard play, our experience with Kihei and Reese and Armand, those guys played. I think, yeah, handle the ball, but sometimes the game comes down to you gotta go make some plays at times. You try to run good stuff and you get looks, but can you make some plays defensively and offensively while still staying in the structure of your system? I think our guys did that. And again, sometimes it's just a bounce here and there, guys are missing shots, but I liked what happened. I thought that charge on Monza was huge. And they're 18 to 23 or whatever year olds, and sometimes you just don't know what's going to happen. So you got to control as much of the controllables as you can, but they have to go make plays. That's the beauty of this game.
Gene.
Yeah, tell me just your general thoughts about the defensive intensity in the last 4 minutes where Illinois won field goal.
Yeah, it was good on-ball defense. I mean, that's where Kihei and Reese, they were really trying to stay in front. And again, we made some plays. I'll have to watch the tape, but we haven't the last few years been where we needed to be defensively. And so I hope this will give us some momentum to understand. That's how you win. You defend and you get into the game. There's always a battle with styles and rules that come each year. We do what Illinois wanted to do, we do what we wanted to do. It was just who's going to establish it and who's going to make stops. We just like to stop score, or at least make them earn, go down there and get your looks. And I think it was a 13-4 run or whatever. But I did think we made it hard for them, and maybe some of their inexperience showed too.
Okay, we got time for one more.
Tony, you told us in Charlotte that you wanted to test this roster with a tough schedule. I think I know the answer here, but did you get what you wanted out of these 2 games?
Yeah, I mean, that definitely this tournament. Remember, some people traveled a long way to convince us to come. They're back there to come to this tournament, and like it's a long way, it's a long flight. We're leaving like we're taking a red eye, not flying. It's not a commercial red eye, so but we're taking a red eye. You guys are sorry, but it was well presented and good people that are running it, and we just said, well, this field is a good one, and again, you have to. We got a great schedule. You want to put yourself in those spots because you learn a lot. And everyone's good for the most part in college basketball, but these games in this setting create a unique environment that is something you want to get to as the season goes on. So absolutely, it was well run. Glad we did it. And you could go 2-0, 1-1, or 1-2, and you're going to learn a lot, and you're still going to be good because of this competition.
Thanks, Tony. We'll have Reese Beekman and Jaden Gardner available outside of our library.
I should get a big cut now because
Coach, nice to meet you, Ellen. Congratulations. Pleasure.
Now these guys came out.
I know about this whole thing, so happy
That
to
was
see you.
before I was in college.
Yeah, because Bill was with you.
Bill was
Oh,
with us.
yeah. No, you guys.
Catch up with
It's
you.
good to see you. It's great. Yeah. Congratulations.
Have a great season.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Thanks,
your
Tony.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. Good to see you.
See, I just went to Yankee about 3 weeks ago.
So congratulations.
Yeah, so it's in Las Vegas, so all the major events in Las Vegas. So.
That's great.
That's a
Yeah.
fun job.
But it's a great job.
Bye, Dan. Great to see you. Happy Thanksgiving. It's nice to be back in here. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.
We love it. Feels like home.
Good luck.
catch up with you in a minute, Chris. All right.
Noise coming.
Really, really high level basketball game. And I have so much respect for Tony. I have everything their campus is going through, everything their program's going through tragedies. And I can't imagine. I know as a DIA athletic department how close and intertwined we all become and what that has to be. And so my thoughts and prayers are with everyone on the campus. It meant a lot for them to allow us to wear their shooting shirts today with those young people on it that tragically were life taken. But high level game. Defensively, both teams were really dialed in. They forced us to make some adjustments, and we forced them to even play small sometimes. But I was excited for the learning curve that we had today. We came out on the wrong side. We're up 2 with 3:27 to go or something like that, and without a 3-point shooter. We didn't execute the way we need to execute, but they did, and that's a tribute to them and their experience. But we will definitely grow from that. We will definitely learn a lot. And we learned a lot. I learned a lot. I made some mistakes down the stretch that I can't make. But that's I'm proud of these guys. It is a Final Four caliber tournament and event that took place here. All these teams are going to have great seasons, and we're just blessed to be a part of it and learn a lot about ourselves as we move forward. And simple tasks, just get better.
What was the last part you said? No, I don't think so. I think when we play teams that can post our guards up and take advantage of those switches, I think that's kind of what they try to exploit. They're switching pin downs and things like that. They throw the ball into the post, back our guards in. So I think those are probably like the only challenges, post ups, stuff like that. But other than that, I think our switch is going to be a problem down the road. When we start limiting mistakes on defense, I think we're going to have the best defensive team in the country. So.
Hey, Jane. So Coach just mentioned obviously you guys going to learn a lot from this weekend. What are one of the things that you're going to take away from this experience?
This was like a great experience for me playing on this level, playing on a high level. It's a good team like that, and I feel like I'm just going to learn. I just execute down the stretch, like Coach said. Stay solid on defense and just always continue to play hard. Mostly just continue to execute. Just do what we do.
What would your team talk 25 points, quick points out to the teams?
Yeah, I think I learned we're right there with the best of them. I think we can compete with anybody in the country. The way we can use different pieces, sub multiple guys in, and we're tough. Our freshmen, they have to play. They can't be freshmen. They're getting down the stretch. We're going to be dependent on them. The ball's in Sky's hands, Jaden's hands at the point, both freshmen. So I just know we're tough. Like I said, we can compete with anybody in the country, really.
For Jaden, it seems like you made a very good college choice, and obviously Norfolk and Charlottesville are not right around the corner from each other. I was just curious, like, were you a fan growing up, or did they try to recruit you, or do you have friends who go there, or anything like that?
Yeah, one of my friends does, Chase Coleman. So, yeah, I definitely was a UVA fan growing up. It's like right at home. So, I have a lot of respect for that program. Like Coach said, like what they're going through right now, I have a lot of respect for that when I heard competing. And, they were also always close to home, so I always been a fan of them.
Coleman, just what maybe in the last 4 minutes tripped you guys up kind of execution wise?
I think we all kind of just try to make home run plays. I don't think we listened well. I think we all kind of just did our own thing late. There might have been some tough calls against us. People's heads were focused on the right things. But at the end of the day, I honestly couldn't tell you what truly happened. It just kind of just went to chaos down the stretch. But like I said, there's just a lot to learn from this experience. And we'll definitely have to clean up late game execution. So.
Jim, this has been one of the better defensive programs in the country. What makes them difficult? Would you learn playing against the defensive players?
I would say they are defensively sound. Most thing that I learned was that they hard hedge, so how to play against hard hedges and how to play against a tight line. They're pretty disciplined in that, so it was a big learning for me playing against that and seeing how that looks and ways to get my teammates the ball, ways to create shots and stuff like that. And I would say I think it was good for me to play against something like that and learn from it.
This last 2 plays, home for you guys to do this type of situation. How can that help you guys use this for down the road?
Yeah, Coach touched on it after the game. Just like even the timing of the games, play one late Friday, and we play one early on Sunday. So who's in shape enough to go out and compete in both games, not just win one game and then you can't go out and perform Sunday and lose. Because like you said, no one cares if you lose. You got to win it all. So down the line, just game times, quick scouting reports, quick turns, winning one game and not focusing on that one, focusing on the next one. So I think it's going to be really good for us down the line because I think this team has a really good chance of making it pretty far in that championship.
Hey, Brad, the disparity in free throw shooting, how big a factor was that? What did they do, I guess, effectively or however to get that many free throws?
Yeah, it's something we've got to clean up. We can't foul. I'll see it when I watch the film. But again, I thought there was a few plays where we were pretty critical and went up and maybe didn't go our way. But that's one game. I think we've been getting to the foul line a lot. I didn't think Terrence. Terrence usually, the game before we came out here and drew 10 fouls, and he's a high level foul drawer. But in a high level game, you're not going to get those, and we got to be ball tough, and we've got to be smarter and not foul. And obviously there was a big foul towards the end of the game, but the shooting foul. But those are mistakes you can't.
Coach, I know Terrence can't make 8 threes every single game, but when you have the 5th leading scorer in the nation, do you need him to score well and or play well to win games, in your opinion?
Those bench press players, I'm always going to put them in positions to try to be successful. It was a unique night. Terrence from the free throw line was very unique. He didn't get that. And he's been a guy that's, because you make a lot of threes one night, he can't forget where his bread is buttered, so to speak, and that's driving that thing to the rim. And, opens the second half and just missed a layup. And he got really good looks and felt good about some of those things. And he's got to grow from this. We're expecting him to be really, really good. And we're counting on him to be really good. And good players don't have off nights in big games. Just doesn't happen. You hardly ever see it. And he's got to accept that role and become that guy for us.
Coach, Dane Danger, over here, Coach. Dane Danger, I think he played just 7 minutes in the first half. Was there something you saw, or is it just saving it for the second half?
Great flow. I mean, we were getting, with Dane in the game, we played a little bit different. Tonight we had great flow. It was one of the challenges, one of the mistakes I made in the second half. Dane got us some easy baskets, but it got us out of flow. And I probably, I said back to it. We were clicking. We were getting cuts. We had ball movement, and it was not in any way effective of Dane. It was just what they did. We forced them to play small, and they took their 2 7-footers out, which they hardly ever do. And but we got everything we wanted in the first half with our movement, and so it was just one of those nights for him. And I like the way we were guarding and able to switch. So that has much to do with that as the other.
We're going to see the strength of this tournament to test your team. Would you find that against 2 very different opponents?
Yeah, we're pretty good. Everyone's really good. And the 2 teams that are playing right now are both top 10 teams, and Virginia is one of the most experienced teams in the country, and obviously, you've got a point guard who won a national championship in League. So, they've got all 5 starters now, and we're right there. Our ceiling, we're not even close to it, and I'm still learning. 8 new guys, and I'm still learning. Okay, maybe Terrence has an off night or somebody takes it away. Where do I go? So I'm learning just as much about this group in the heat of the moment. But go hoop, play, and compete, and fight. We just did that at a very, very high level in what you could call this a Final Four caliber event, and it was. And I feel pretty good about that. Now we just can't rest on it. We've got to drive it. We've got to get better. We talked about that, as Colby mentioned, Friday, Sunday, terms, and, mentally tough, and the grind, and getting in elite shape, and all those things. Handling a scouting report. We didn't have a shoot around this morning. All that stuff is new for these guys, and we had to make some adjustments on the fly. We made some pretty good ones. We made some that didn't work, but we'll get there. But boy, you guys hardly ever hear me happy after a loss. But I'm in a fairly good place with what can be.
I can't go back and start but I've seen what Virginia's been through and what happened on your campus. Can you kind of, and I don't want to diminish that by making up last week, can you see in the way that they play that you brought them together, they're playing with them in perspective, just kind of throwing themselves into it? I mean, maybe there's a connection between what happened and how they played here.
Oh, I would be disappointed if it's not. I think that we talked about that with our team. They're playing for a cause, and when I was at Oklahoma State, we played in the NCAA tournament. Michigan team that had to scare with the plane crash. They win a Big Ten tournament, and you get a little bit of a appreciation for what we get to do, and we get to go play the game we love because it could be really taken away from us, and that's. It makes me nauseous. It makes me sick to think that that's happening on our college campuses within our athletic departments, and especially, I guess it happens anywhere, a prestigious university like the personally, so I'm sure they did. I'm sure they had a mission. Now, I also know Tony's team's really good, and they don't need that, but I would hope that that's maybe brings a little joy to the 20,000 people who said yesterday that were at the people services and the solemnness that they're going through. So that stuff really bothers me, but I would hope it brings them just a little joy.
To see how your team played, responding, maybe two very different late game situations in these two games. Just what can you take from that? Is that just be a bigger part of using these games?
Execution. I mean, you got to, and again, in the UCLA game, we were able to get the ball really easy to get it. When Terrence made shots, it became a little more of an isolation game, and just moving. Today, I was probably as bothered by the defensive side as I was the offensive side in terms of executing. And yet we've got to be tougher. We've got to be mentally disciplined out. And we came out of the timeout. Jay Nelson couldn't do that. They just broke off a play. Didn't even run it right away. And diagrams and those were all learning points. Those are all things we have to learn. And that's something that there's no you can do that in high school and get away with it because you're the best player on the court. Out here, there's real dudes, and those are all moments.
All right, getting back to Jaden there, you clearly are trusting him. The ball late some games. What have you seen from him practicing so far this season? So how do you find that trust?
Well, he and Sky are really good, and I had those guys in a lot down crunch time, but no, he was very effective in increasing their defense, especially their ball screens. We were twisting a lot of ball screens tonight, and I thought like Jaden could get into the paint. He's been a very, very, very good finisher at the rim over size, but again, he missed a couple that he normally makes, and we don't want to discourage that in any way. But and then Sky's just been rock solid, and I got to get Sky, a little more assertive and aggressive. But we're in good hands with those two.
Coach, in the late game execution offensively, I know you touched on that a little bit, but how much is it just trying to find who you guys are, their identity, what you want to do there?
Yeah, it was pretty good after Friday night's game. Hey, we're going to get the ball to Terrence, and you go with your veterans. And my mind is, as you guys know, I lean heavily on the veterans. And tonight, in a game that TJ truthfully didn't have it going, I ran a couple of things to Jay. And then we tried to get a couple of post-ups for Dane. Dane got a great look. Ball was going. But I've got to, it's on me. I set Matt too long. Matt's a guy who believed about it. I got to get him the ball.
Hey, Brad, so could you talk to us about the freshmen, specifically Jaden and also Sincere, just how they've been having to fear the moment this week?
Yeah, they just love it. They love to compete. They're both extremely competitive. Sky's very competitive. Ty Rogers is very competitive. Ty had a tough tournament. He got foul trouble the first night. He was better tonight. But all these guys compete, and they're about all of the right things. They're about us, and it's not here where they're out here trying to play for their draft spots. Any of that. These guys are here. They're invested in everything we're doing, and they love their university. They love their teammates, and when you play the game the right way like that, you're going to find success. And are there going to be days like today? There's a speed bump, yeah, and you grow from that. And it's next time, next man up, they'll make it. And that's what I like about this group. They're not going to play with fear, and they're going to cut it loose.
With the defense, with your switching, Virginia seemed to, both teams did a little bit. Virginia actually did better with the slipping it, ghosting it, whatever they were trying to do against those. How do you develop? Is just communication there with these guys?
Yeah, it's the first thing that happened. You have to call a timeout because we just literally don't communicate on something we talked about at halftime. We knew that they'd go to the baseline, and the baseline runner is not a screen, so that it's not a switch. And we were trying to switch it, and again, scouting report, not having to shoot around, knowing that that's something in the bag, you've got to learn some of those things on the fly. That's where experience helps. A couple of those times it was veterans. It was RJ and Cole and Matt once. So, you've got to grow from those. I thought we hold one of the best offensive teams in the country at 30. We shoot the first half on our stat sheet, 37%. And we did a lot of great things. They hurt us with second chance points, but I thought our defense was really pretty solid throughout for facing the team we faced out.
Can you give an update on that?
I don't know anything. He said it just was a stinger, and we'll see. I hope it's nothing beyond that. Thank you.
We were trying to get some made, but they haven't. Brooks, appreciate it, brother.